In today's video, we're diving into the world of NASCAR corruption, a topic that has generated intense discussions in recent years. It seems that no sport, including NASCAR, is immune to these kinds of rumors and speculation. Join us as we explore the NASCAR controversies and uncover the truth behind the rigging claims surrounding NASCAR. So, is NASCAR rigged? The short answer to this is no, absolutely not. While there have always been theories and accusations surrounding the genuine nature of some NASCAR seasons and events, there has been zero concrete evidence presented that can substantiate these claims. What most people claim as evidence for NASCAR being rigged are merely a series of coincidences that, in a wider context, are generally explained away. What evidence is there of rigging in NASCAR? First of all, let's be clear about what we mean when we say rigging in NASCAR. What we are referring to is NASCAR officials or other related employees deliberately fixing the results of races in order to obtain the best possible TV ratings and financial outcomes for the sport of NASCAR. Cheating is something entirely different. Another word people have used to describe this kind of problem is scripted, where they reflect on whether or not a NASCAR season is running according to a preset script, in which the invariably exciting and thrilling final outcome has already been decided. These are what we are denying exists. There are, however, some very interesting coincidences that might make you think. For example, did you know that in July 2001, the winner of the Pepsi 400 in Daytona was none other than Dale Earnhardt Jr., only months after his beloved father had died at the Daytona 500? Was Earnhardt's return to Daytona and a victory for his family predestined by NASCAR? Some people think so. Another famous example is that of Chase Elliott winning the 2020 NASCAR Cup Series. What was so strange about him winning? Well, some claim that owing to his popularity with fans, NASCAR made a decision that he should win in 2020 in order to recover from flagging ratings. Perhaps most infamously, at the Kansas Speedway in 2020, NASCAR admitted that they did miss a call against Elliott that would have penalized him and probably cost him the race, and ultimately the championship. Did they miss that call deliberately? Was that mistake on Elliott's part simply getting in the way of a good television script? Once again, there's no concrete evidence for that. Furthermore, it's more than a little insulting to Elliott that his victory was part of some conspiracy to rig the event. First of all, Hendrick Motorsports, the team for which Elliott races, had won 9 of the 16 championships prior to 2021, and Elliott himself has never finished lower than 10th in the standings since 2016. Is it such a surprise, therefore, that such a driver and such a team would emerge victorious in 2020? Perhaps Elliott did get lucky in there being a missed call against him, but such things happen in sports all the time. There's no escaping the simple fact that NASCAR races and the entire NASCAR season is all part of a television show, and one that desperately needs to keep its audience in place. In recent years, NASCAR has been fighting falling viewer numbers as younger generations appear less interested in the raw horsepower, muscle, and skill that is NASCAR racing. When you want good ratings, you have to create something compelling, and this is behind a lot of the thinking when it comes to so-called rigging in NASCAR. So why exactly do some people think NASCAR is rigged? Cautions. The first weapon of the NASCAR rigging arsenal is that of the caution. When a yellow flag caution is issued, it forces drivers to bunch together into tighter packs, bringing the race back to more equal footing on the one hand, but also getting the pack ready to be unleashed once again while in close proximity to each other. That can be exciting to watch. What's more, they can be a convenient way to reset the field so that the driver they favor has a better chance of recovering or winning the race. This is all alleged and speculative, of course. There is zero evidence that any of this is the reality of what's happening. It doesn't stop Facebook groups exploding when it happens, though. Stage racing. The decision to make each NASCAR race divided into stages also raised some eyebrows. A new stage means a new start, with winners in the early stages, but also more of a guarantee that one driver or team can't just run away with the race from the start and create a dull spectacle, where they are in the lead throughout. Using stages helps reset the playing field and give more drivers a chance of victory. If you were looking to make an hours-long TV broadcast more interesting and wanted to keep people guessing about who might win outright, this would be an ingenious way to do it. The call. Finally, we have perhaps the most controversial, but officially non-existent weapon of all in the arsenal of the NASCAR TV excitement, and it's known simply as the call. This refers to a supposed practice of NASCAR officials looking the other way and thus giving a driver an unfair advantage over the others, and in doing so may create the desired outcome of a race. One of the most famous examples of the call was in the 1984 Firecracker 400 in Daytona, where Richard Petty was supposedly the beneficiary of the call and won his 200th race. Why should people suspect this of being dubious? Well, it just so happened that President Ronald Reagan was in attendance. So what a fantastic occasion that would be for a driver to win his 200th race. It's pretty unfair to Petty, of course, but it's one example among many that fuels people's belief that NASCAR races are in fact rigged on some level. NASCAR has consistently denied any rigging allegations and emphasized its commitment to fair competition. Officials maintain that the organization operates with integrity and transparency. To address concerns, NASCAR has implemented measures such as employing a comprehensive rulebook, establishing a thorough inspection process, and imposing penalties for rule violations. These efforts aim to reassure fans of the sport's legitimacy and integrity. Although if someone's favorite driver gets penalized, you will invariably hear the rigged cry go up. By comparing NASCAR to other sports, it becomes evident that rigging allegations are a broader issue in the sports world, with organizations constantly working to maintain fair competition, and that as a sport, NASCAR and motorsports in general fare pretty well in comparison. NASCAR is governed by a set of rules and regulations designed to ensure fair competition. The organization has a dedicated competition department that oversees race operations, technical inspections, and the enforcement of rules. NASCAR also has a race control center, where officials monitor races in real time and make decisions on penalties and cautions. This governing structure aims to maintain the sport's integrity and keep competition balanced. NASCAR shines as a beacon of fair competition with no concrete evidence of rigging. Imagine 40 drivers each passionately vying for victory. Any hint of race manipulation would surely cause an uproar. While disagreements over decisions are a natural part of the sport, claims of foul play beyond subjective judgment remain remarkably rare. So, feel free to cheer with passion when your favorite driver overcomes a penalty from the lead. Embrace the thrill of the race with a knowing smile, confident that the competition is genuine. After all, it's the passion and optimism that make NASCAR such an exhilarating experience. What do you think? Is NASCAR rigged? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share the video with fellow racing enthusiasts. Most importantly, subscribe to NASCAR Today for more exciting content. Stay tuned for more stories from the tracks.